Yeah. But speaking of books,
Oh man.
and I want to transition to this. Really,
Yeah.
you've got a book,
Yes, sir.
my friend. Man, it's called Just One Layup: Building the Playbook for Real Estate Success. Can y'all see this?
Let's
They
go.
can see this, right?
Yeah.
What was, because I've still yet to get this book and get your autograph on it. Those are the two things I need before I open it up.
Let's go.
But man, tell us a little bit about this book. What was the inspiration behind it? And yeah, why you wrote this book?
Yeah, so this book is actually a culmination of, I would say, 10 years of just life. And the end result is it being for real estate agents and entrepreneurs. But volume 2 is coming up soon. And that'll be more of
This is just part one.
This is part one. Just One Layup. I don't know what we're going to title it, but it'll be more generalized. But if you're not a real estate agent or if you're not an entrepreneur, you can definitely read this and take a lot of nuggets out of it. So this is, it tells you a lot of my journey before real estate, who shaped me, what shaped me to who I am today. And then it tells, the beginning stages of my real estate career, it tells me about how, I really didn't know what I was doing, bro. To the point to where, man, I remember I was getting trained, and our first time walking through a house, my team leader, Tim Cornwell, was like, hey, all right, guys, what's this, what's that? And they're like, oh, yeah, that's this, that's that, that's the backsplash. And I'm not knowing nothing, bro. I'm like, what are y'all talking about, man? That's just this, or that's just that. And so he's like, all right, D, it's your turn. What's this? And he points at what is typically called the linen closet. Bro, all my life, that was the towel closet. You just throw the towels in there. What you mean? And so I'm thinking everybody knew that. And, of course, maybe I'm saying, towel when other people say linen. But, bro, it's professionally known as a linen closet. I looked at them like, y'all playing. What do you mean linen? Linen what? And so, just to show you how much I did not know about real estate, and how much you learn so quick. And so this book is just, a lot of my ups, my downs, being down to my last $50 in the end of my second year of real estate.
Wow.
And then the things that I did to come back from that. So when I say just one layup, the premise behind that is the layup in basketball is the easiest shot you can take.
Yes.
The highest percentage shot you can take, right?
Yes.
And so I often talk about the story of Steph Curry in 2019. Steph Curry in 2019, it was Game 6 against not the Raptors, against Houston Rockets. And Steph, we know him as the greatest shooter of all time. First quarter, 0 points, 2 fouls, and he's shooting. Second quarter, still 0 points, bro. They go into halftime. They make their adjustments. Still, halfway through the third quarter is when he got his first bucket to go in. And this is one of the greatest shooters, if not the greatest shooter of all time.
That's insane.
He had to get back to the basics. His first shot that he made was a layup.
Boom.
Second shot was a layup. And then something clicked, right? So he built momentum, right? Hit those 2 layups. And then so he went from making no points in the first 2.5 quarters to ending that game with 33 points.
Get out of here.
33 points.
I think I remember this game, actually.
Yeah.
Was it in the semifinals?
Yeah. This game was yo, you win this, we're going to play. That's the year they lost to the Raptors.
To the Raptors,
yeah.
Kawhi and the boys.
Yeah, Kawhi hit that crazy shot. But it was like, you know what? How do I apply this? And so I felt that. I felt as if, you know what, man, I'm not hitting nothing right now. I got $50 in my pocket. I'm not hitting any shots. And so I had to get back to the basics. And so I took a person out to lunch, and this is like getting back to the basics. Me being in front of somebody, adding value. Took a person out to lunch, $50 in my pocket. I'm not joking. Took him to Scotty Brown's, right? Scotty Brown's isn't super super high, but it's not cheap at the same time. I got $50 in my account, and so I'm like, hey man, get whatever you want. Man, it was the first time I ever ordered a salad in my life. I was nervous, man, but I ordered me a salad, you know what I mean? And we got to talking, and it was really, really cool. And then next thing you know, that person was the first person to buy a house for me that year. And then it snowballed into me having the craziest year in my career. I did over $6 million in total volume before half the year was over. And so it was just like, what's going on? Well, what happened was I got back to the basics. I hit that layup, and it started to build momentum. I was like, okay, I still need to be in front of people. And so I started doing open houses, right? Because that puts me in front of people. I started speaking and started being part of the community because that puts me in front of people, right?
Wow.
And all these things are just layups that I can do on a consistent basis so that I can build the momentum to take the big 3. And so that book, for me, is the big three, right?
Wow.
The speaking engagements that I'm booking now all across the country, all this year, that's the big three. You know, but it started taking somebody out. That was the layup in my life.
Yeah.
And so when I say, you know, building the playbook for success, really you have to know who you are intrinsically. How do you operate? Because there's so many ways, and I'll keep it in like a real estate / entrepreneur mindset. There's so many ways to sell a house. There's so many ways to get a client. You can make 50 phone calls a day and try to convert somebody to, you know, 50 phone calls a day to some people you don't know. It's called cold calling.
Cold calling,
right?
yes.
You can do that. And there are people that are absolutely crushing it at doing that. That's not me, but people are doing it. You can go and door knock 100 houses a day. And there's people that are out there crushing door knocking, right? And so the premise of building a playbook specifically for you is going back to what I said earlier. I don't believe in one size fits all, right? So find out who you are, and I encourage people to take the DISC profile test to kind of, it's not a true north, but it's a guiding light to help you understand who you are, how you work best, how you learn best, and then you apply those principles to, okay, I'm high I, which means that I need to be in front of people. It's called either influence. It's called like an influencer, right? I need to be in front of people because people feel my energy, and I in turn feel that energy back, and just fuels me, right? And so being an I in real estate or in entrepreneurship, that means I need to be face to face. If you put me in like a 10-hour bust out 150,000 phone calls, I would not, nor could I do that. It would drain me. I would suck at it. It would just literally kill me on the inside.
Yeah.
But if you told me to do like a 10-hour open house, right? I'm there. I'm there because I know that I'm gonna meet people. I'm gonna say what's up to people. I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna make them laugh. I'm gonna get to know people, and that fuels me. I'd rather do 5 hours of open houses than 1 hour of cold calling.
Yeah.
But that's just because who I am. Now there's other people that you say go do an open house and they freak out.
They can't do it.
Can't do it. Right? And so we build those playbooks. So if we know your strengths, then we create processes and systems around that, so that now it's just you're skating, bro. You're skating.
Yeah.
So I know that's a long-winded answer.
No,
but
that was amazing,
that's the
though.
book, man.
You know, and I've had plenty of my guests. Shout out to Ken Miller, who talked about to emphasize your strengths. Don't worry about your weaknesses, not as much as your strengths.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful you said this, because I would always think to myself, man, I emphasize my strengths, and I can do them any day, all day, any day. But the weaknesses that I have, I try to, I work on my weaknesses, and I'm like, let's say if I'm an open house person like you, and cold calling is not my thing, would it be a bad thing to one day be like, hey, let me cold call today, and let's see if I can work on that and see if I can change? Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? How do you view that?
Man, that's a great question. So I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. It's not an advisable thing. So what I want you to be doing, if you're one of my coaching clients, I would say I want you to be at your highest and best use at all times, right? You don't want to put the wrong gas in a very, very expensive car.
No.
Right? Because yeah, sure, to get you somewhere, but man, you're gonna be stuck up the road, you know what I mean, in a couple miles, right? And so you can work on your strengths, and there's no limit to how high they can go. You can work on your weaknesses, but there is a cap. There is a cap. Your weakness will likely still be your weakness 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And that's okay. So what you do is you hire that out, right? Do what you do best, hire out the rest. You feel me? Yeah. So yeah, I can do open houses, and I do have an assistant who makes calls for me on my behalf. Hi, I'm DeVante's assistant, la, 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 and goes about your business, and goes about it, right? Because, of course, that's a pillar of work that you can build yourself on, right? That's a revenue stream of cold calling. It's not my strength, but you know what? I'm not daft enough to think that, I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to hire somebody, and they're going to do it. You know what I mean? But, like, that's their strength. You know what I mean? It's just do what you do best at all times and hire out the rest.
And that sounds a lot like work smart, not hard.
Yes, sir. 1,000%. Yeah. I mean, think about it. Okay, so you're like, you know what? Hey, today I'm gonna do 2 hours of cold calling, and it takes you 45 minutes to just pick up the phone because you're like, frick, I don't want to do this. I don't know what to say. La la la. Man, that's 45 minutes. You could have been at an open house. You know what I mean? Crushing it, talking to somebody, and you make a connection, and they're ready to buy, sell, or invest. You know what I mean? So always put yourself in the place to succeed.
What is up, y'all? Thank you so much for tuning in to that episode. Make sure to click the subscribe, follow button, as well as the bell to get notified on all my new content that is coming out every Wednesday and every other day. And make sure to click that link in the description down below to get access to all my socials and any other platforms that I have my podcast on. And until next time, y'all, peace.